Good morning. Today we are going to read Apple Pie 4th of July by Janet S. Wong. This is a story about a Chinese girl who is trying to adapt to American culture. So let's see, we'll read into it, but let's see who can tell me what is 4th of July. Why do we celebrate 4th of July in the United States? Yes, Johnny? Yes, it is an American holiday where we celebrate Independence Day. Correct. That's when we adopted the Declaration of Independence. So we celebrate in the United States. They don't celebrate it in Canada because it's our holiday. Let's see, who can tell me what they do on Independence Day or 4th of July? You have barbecues? That's good. You have barbecues. What else can we do on 4th of July? We can do fireworks. We do a lot of fireworks on the 4th of July. That helps us celebrate. What else do we do? Yes, we spend lots of time with our family. Very good. We spend time with our friends. We could do picnics, barbecues. We could do a lot of things. Everybody does something different for 4th of July, but we all celebrate. Let me see. Who can tell me what an immigrant is? An immigrant. Someone that doesn't live here. They live here, but they weren't born here. So they could have lived in China and then moved here when they were 12. And now they live here and they are an immigrant. So whose parents weren't born in the United States? Do you know? So a few of you have parents that weren't born here. So you can relate to this story. So an immigrant is someone that wasn't born in the United States but has moved here, so they're called immigrants. Very good. Apple Pie 4th of July by Janet S. Wong. Janet S. Wong is the author. Does she read the book or write the book? What's the author? Author is someone that writes the book. Very good. And the pictures, also the illustrator who does the pictures is Margaret Chados Irene. Let's see. 7 days a week, 52 weeks, 364 days a year, and 365 in a leap year. Our store is open. Christmas Day is the only day we close. Even on Thanksgiving, we open the store. Even on New Year's Day. Even today, the 4th of July. I hear the parade coming this way. Boom, boom, boom. I smell apple pie in Laura's oven upstairs. And I smell chow mein in our kitchen. Chow mein? Chinese food on the 4th of July? No one wants Chinese food on the 4th of July, I say. Fireworks are Chinese, Father says, and hands me a pan of sweet and sour pork. And I hear the parade. Boom, boom, boom. I hear the parade passing by. She seems annoyed. Why does she seem annoyed? She doesn't think that people should eat Chinese food on the 4th of July? Yeah. Noon and customers come for soda and potato chips. One o'clock and they buy ice cream. 2 o'clock, the egg rolls are getting hard. 3 o'clock, ice and matches. 4 o'clock, and the noodles feel like shoelaces. No one wants Chinese food on the 4th of July, I say. Mother piles noodles on my plate. My parents don't understand all American things. They were not born here. Even though my father has lived here since he was 12. Even though my mother loves apple pie. I cannot expect them to know Americans do not eat Chinese food on the 4th of July. And if they weren't born here and they lived here since they were 12, what are they called? Immigrants. Very good. So I straighten the milk and the videos and sample a few new candy bars until 5 o'clock. When 2 hungry customers walk inside for some Chinese food to go. I tell them no one came, so we ate it up ourselves. But they smell food in our kitchen now. And Mother walks through the swinging door holding a tray full of chicken chow mein. And Father follows her step for step with a brand new pan of sweet and sour pork. And 3 more people get in line, 11 more at 6 o'clock, 9 more at 7, 12 by 8. More and more and more and more. They're all lining up. Until it's time to close the store. Time to climb up to our rooftops, chairs, way up high beyond the crowd. Where we sit and watch the fireworks show. And eat our apple pie. Let's see, who can tell me what the setting of this book was? Let's see where it took place. Anybody? Yes, in the store of the little girl. Very good. And who's the main character in the book? The little girl, yes. And let's see, can anybody tell me why the little girl was afraid no one would buy Chinese food on the 4th of July? Johnny? Yes, because it's an American holiday, and she didn't know that they would buy Chinese food on an American holiday. Very good. Let's see, who can tell me what the family does? What kind of shop was the family shop? It was a Chinese food store. It could have been a grocery store because they sold other things like ice cream and matches. Very good. Let's see, who can tell me where the parents were from? China. It didn't say they were from China, but they said that they were immigrants and that they moved here and they own a Chinese shop, so we're assuming they're from China. But yeah, very good. They very well could be from China. Can anyone tell me what their favorite part of the 4th of July is? Fireworks is a good one. That's my favorite too. Family, that's even better. Let's see, anybody else tell me what their favorite part of the 4th of July is? Apple pie. I think it was the little girl's favorite part too. Parades. Yeah. There's a lot of good things about the 4th of July. I used a few critical thinking questions with this story. I used some before, during, and after. One of the critical thinking strategies I used was strategy 23, and I connected the story to another subject. So while we were reading the story for reading purposes, we connected it to a history lesson. So when I asked the question, why do we celebrate the 4th of July, I did that. I connected it to history because we celebrate 4th of July for the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. So by doing that later in that lesson, I can go a little more in depth into the Declaration of Independence, what it is, who did it, what the outcome was. So by planting that seed of what the 4th of July was, I was connecting it to history, and I can then later in the lesson continue with that. Another strategy I used with my critical thinking questions was strategy 14, clarifying the meanings of words. So for this book, I asked what they thought an immigrant was before I read the book. And that set up to what they were going to read in the book. So it helps the students identify what an immigrant is, identify and recognize what an immigrant is inside the book, along with understanding the concept of an immigrant. So even though it doesn't specifically say the word immigrant inside the book, they're understanding the concept of what an immigrant is, and they will be able to recognize and identify it when I read it in the book. So I pointed it out when I read the book, I described what an immigrant was before the book, and I reiterated it after the book, so that way they really understand the full concept of it. So that was another strategy. I also asked after I read the book why the little girl was afraid no one would buy Chinese food. This goes towards strategy 32, where the students can make plausible inferences and conclusions. So when I ask that question, it doesn't specifically say the answer inside the book. So the students are going to have to think of an answer. They can be totally wrong, or they can be totally right, but they're using their mental skills and they're thinking about why that little girl thought no one would come and buy Chinese food. Using these critical thinking questions and strategies, I'm encouraging these students to engage in the book. I want these students to think about the characters. I want them to think about the meaning behind the book. So by using the critical thinking questions and strategies, I am doing that. They are engaging the book. They're getting into it. They're understanding why. They're going above and beyond and using different levels of thinking. I hear the parade coming this way. Boom, boom, boom. I smell apple pie in Laura's oven upstairs and chow mein in our kitchen. Chow mein, Chinese food on the 4th of July. No one wants Chinese food on the 4th of July, I say. Oh, that's horrible. That is boring. No one wants to hear it. It is a waste of time. When we read to our students, I like the way SIP puts it in his reading article or reading out loud article, that it's not a time filler. We are there to teach the kids comprehension skills. We're there to teach our students different language. We're there to teach them different critical thinking processes. And by just reading to them is almost a waste of time, because you have so much more to offer them. So reading at a monotone pace like that, you don't have the students engaged. They're not interested. They're not using any thinking skills. So you're basically wasting their time. Where if you were to really read them, show them the pictures and say, I hear the parade coming this way. Boom, boom, boom. I smell apple pie in Laura's oven upstairs. And chow mein in our kitchen. Chow mein? Chow mein on the 4th of July? We're going to have our students' attention when we read with engagement. We're going to have our students wanting to read more. We're going to, when we ask questions, they're going to want to engage. So reading out loud is not just something that we do to fill time. And I think that's really important for everyone to know. Parents, teachers, I think it's really important that we give our kids engagement is important. By using expressive engagement strategies, we are inviting our students to participate in the book reading process with us. We want them to tell us what's going to happen next. We want them to talk to the characters. By us dramatizing what the words in the book say, we are manipulating them to really get engaged and really get involved with the book.